We'll get through the load screen here real quick. Big shout out to Zethian. Thanks for coming back to the family, bro. Zethian, DreamHack admin, all-around awesome guy, and pizza lover, resubbing to the channel. You rock, man. Yeah, again, all the replays that we cast today, guys, I'll be bundling them up and sending them out to everybody at the end of the broadcast. Well, not to everybody, to our subscribers specifically. So, there's been some pretty good games. I hope you guys are ready to enjoy them through replays. However, focusing on the match at hand, currently leading 2-1 at the moment, one game away from victory in this best-of-5 semifinals match. It is at the top right corner of the map, the red Protoss player from Samsung Galaxy, Stork. And his opponent in the bottom left. In a bit of trouble. We'll see if he can bring it together. It is the blue Terran Polt. Alright, so right now Polt has been... he just had his home field advantage. You know, the way this works, because they're Korean and North Americans playing against one another, they swap servers every other game. So, North America was the start, Korea, North America, and now we're back on Korea. So this is Stork's home turf. Polt is not a player we typically see do cheese. I kind of feel like that would be not within his wheelhouse. Not something to do against Stork at any rate. And Stork has been playing a really solid macro series. Again, I think a lot of when you watch StarCraft 2, it's easy to just call anything a Protoss player does an all-in. But that game was not, man. He won that with a really just strong push. And for Polt, I don't know. I don't know how he handles this one, quite frankly. Merry-Go-Round's a finicky map. This is one where I think drops get assumed that they'll be deterred because of the closed air spaces and the weird air blockers. For those who don't know, real quick, you can't fly through these. Chunk, 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 chunk. They block out the air, but a lot of times drops end up landing over here, and it's not so much about getting away from above, but just going straight to the natural, things like this. So Polt, again, not really notoriously well known for his drop harass, but more so for his doom drop game-ending tactics. But the Reaper's coming out here. And, you know, he's been able to get a couple of good pokes for the majority of these matches. You know, he's been able to get a probe kill here or there. Times out, I don't know, kind of decently against the Mothership Core, but Stork not playing greedy this time. He didn't go for a Nexus first by any means. No, he's got the Mothership Core already en route and being chrono boosted out even, so this Reaper will not get a lot done. And again, big, it's such a small thing to do, but just building the way Stork does, he almost shuts down the Reapers with his build SimCity in and of itself. But the Reaper will get here before the Mothership Core is quite ready. A bit awkward, it's rallied outwards, but again, the probe micro, it doesn't seem like much, guys. But until you're in that situation where you're fighting against a Reaper, you really can't appreciate how frustrating this is to hold off. I'm not a great Protoss player, but I gotta tell you guys, this is not a fun thing to tango with, even if you get that Mothership Core to come out, because as we see, it's super duper slow. But it keeps the Reaper alive. That being said, one thing we've seen out of Stork almost every game in this series has been a 3-stalker follow-up, not for a push and not for pressure, but to catch the Reaper before it comes back to the base. And what kind of sucks about Merry-Go-Round is these are double-layered walls, so the Reaper can only really come in from one position. So you have the Mothership Core over here, 2 stalkers over here, whatever your order of operations ends up being. But it is worth noting we have a Stargate coming out this time. And while this isn't the closest possible air spawns by any means, it is one that the Oracle will be able to perhaps do a little bit of work with. Polt has also opened up with multiple barracks every single match, however. To do this for the Oracle seems, I think, not foolish, but like a waste of time for Stork. Because Polt's always been ready for this. Sim's been started. He's got 6 Marines. These are going to camp in the mineral line. 6 more Marines will go to the other mineral line. And by the time an Oracle gets here, it's not going to get a lot of damage done. There's some magic numbers, and I love talking about them all the time because it always blows my mind. I make new friends who come to the channel who sub and they want to talk to me outside the cast, and like a lot of you guys, I love you, but you haven't figured out the finesse, I guess, of a lot of StarCraft 2. One of the big things, of course, magic numbers versus Protoss. 6 Marines. 6 Marines for an Oracle is how you stop these things from doing damage. 5 won't cut it, and a missile turret, well, I guess a missile turret will make do, but yeah, it's 3 for Mothership Core, biggest count. 6 for the Oracle, minimum count. If you have any less of those, the other units for the Protoss player will absolutely wreck face. That being said, If you hold off this Oracle, this already is a huge investment. This gas cost the tech path of making the Stargate and never using it again. The Reaper even scouts this, so the Marines move to the mineral line immediately. Now, granted, the Reaper does die in the Blaze of Glory, and I didn't first blood it because I had to look back at here for the Oracle. But as we see, gets into the mineral line, turns away immediately. A big fat nope, not JPEG. Turns around, get out of here. But goes towards the main, hoping the Marines will not be here positioned. However, Polt is ready to go with not just 6 but 9, and the Oracle is deterred for the time being. However, the scary thing about the Oracle, guys, it's never really the damage it does so much as it is the threat of the damage it can do. I mean, it'll wander around, it'll pick off any Marines that are misrallied, it'll grab the odd SUV that's transferring, sure, granted, and maybe even if they're building turrets or something, but for the most part, it's just the worry about it coming back, even with the turret going down. But going back home with the Oracle is Stork, and one of the biggest advantages, and this, I call it an advantage all the time, but I think more than anything else, it's like a constellation prize. The Oracle can always do a revelation, but none of it dies here in the middle of the map! Okay, that's what I'm talking about there, the revelation skill. For those who don't know, it gives you immediate vision around these units. It doesn't get their vision, but you can at least see where the army is. And Stork knows full well that there's a push coming to the front of his base. Now, he could actually hold this off with a couple of force fields and not use an overcharge, or he could wait for the units to come up the ramp, bait them in with the overcharge, and then force field them from escaping, which might be the better case. But he overcharges preemptively, a little bit worried. Polt doesn't even have to push up the ramp. And the thing is, to look at his vision, you see the little dots, you know the overcharge is already down. That being said, he's still going to stim forward here and try and pick off the sentries. Gets a couple of zealots, and this force is quite massive. Quite frankly, with a mothership core here, forced to burn a time warp on top of this. If Polt can kill enough of the army, he can focus on the Nexus, or try to at least, because escaping from this won't be easy. But with the sentry still standing, those stalkers not going down, forced to stim the way he was, he's got to back away from this. If those medevacs were there, if these units were full health, a lot of different ifs, he perhaps could have tried to do a little more damage, but a smart choice to disengage for the time being. Colossus are on the way, and I don't know, has he seen this? He's been pulling off a lot of scans. No. So he doesn't know that it's necessarily going to be Colossus, but again, this is something you can kind of predict. I think the Protoss, like, I'm just thinking back to Wings of Liberty, honestly, like, Protoss has only really ever had one, like, the most efficient way to play versus Terran, and the flavor of the month might change from month to month, you know, charge lots becoming, going to Storms versus the Colossus tech that comes out now. Faster Colossus just seemed to be the thing, and everybody's been doing it. Whether you open with the Oracle or not, it's just kind of the follow through. And for Polt, I mean, you're just gonna play this reactionary, right? Like, you're gonna make the 4 medevacs and you'll start making Vikings. Whether there's Colossus or not, the Vikings won't hurt. But I like what's going on in this game, guys. A little bit different, a little bit changed. We got a sneaky base coming out of Polt here in the top left. The Oracle does get picked off, but it kills 2 gas mining SCVs before going down. Not awful, I suppose, but the top left. The top left corner of the map, guys. This is gonna come into big play, I think, because for Stork, he's not really been doing a whole lot of scouting himself. He gets an idea of what's going on. He sends the observers out. He scouts, like, pathways in which to engage, but we haven't really seen him do the thing where he puts pylons in the corners of the map. Like, if you're watching Huck play, for example, guys, you'll see random pylons all over the map, and you'll see strange things go down. But observers are being sniped off. And this is more important than regular observer snipes, because, again, you don't want one of those observers, through happenstance, moving to the top left corner of the map. And I also talked before last game, and I'll bring it up again, like, third bases in StarCraft 2 with this new map season of WCS Season 2 are a little bit weird. You really don't want to take the one out here, and you certainly don't want to take the one over here. They're both very exposed to your opponent. But main base for Stork has a lot of gateways down, guys. Production's looking pretty sweet. And of course his upgrades are going to be 1-1 here in just a second. Polt is a little bit behind in his armor upgrades, but if we're going to be quite honest, armor upgrades versus Protoss are not exactly the most relevant thing in the world. They help, but you're going to want to prioritize weapons when you get the opportunity. However, because the way his production's up, he doesn't have an armory down, so he can't start those level 2 weapon upgrades yet. And quite frankly, when you're trying to produce medevacs, you don't actually have the gas to spare for that armory. At this point, I think it may just simply be a mistake. I think he may have forgotten to put it down, but he's got to wait for the armor to complete anyways before he starts his weapon upgrades, so not crazy. Still just scouting around, however has not scouted the top left. I mean, there's no reason to. Polt's not a player notorious for ninja bases. You compare him to somebody like Goody, who will always take a ninja base when given the opportunity. Not gonna be the case, and of course Stork not looking for it, but okay, Zealots Let's see, do they have charge yet? No charge quite yet. But there's still this really nice buffer that you can have. Vikings on patrol looking for warp prisms. Again, I like that he's been doing this. It's a subtle move, but it's a nice one. Polt's army's getting up pretty nicely too, but again, his upgrades have been stifled pretty hardcore. He definitely forgot about that armory, so it's only just now come down. He'll have 2-2 started here ASAP, I'm sure, but he's going to be going to a Protoss player who may potentially have 2-2, and 2-2 versus 1-1, just the bottom lines mean that those Marines are going to tickle units that are hidden within the Guardian Shield. But I like this two-pronged attack, getting set up to hit from both sides. If he gets caught too early, then one side of his army is too weak to fight and it crumbles. But if he hits it both at the same time, it's going to be a magnificent engagement. Vikings are, however, going to come in with nothing to buffer for them underneath this. They focus down the Colossus right away. A couple more Marauders hitting from the left side, and the army's retreating towards the south. But most of the Vikings have been focused down by the Stalkers, and this is one of the big problems with doing what he did. But he comes in back from behind. He's going to try and focus down the last two Colossus standing. He's also kiting around these cells while this is going on. Polt is working at 3 different angles, and Stork is doing his best to react. Polt, however, loses a majority of his forces. That being said, he's still got production coming up behind this. 3 Vikings at a time, 3 Marauders, 4 Marines. I mean, upgrades still. We're late to that fight. It was 2-2 for Stork. But as long as Stork, well, actually, he does have charge now. I was going to say, as long as he doesn't have charge, Polt will be okay with his Bioforce. But now that charge is complete, this is going to be pretty rough to deal with. Top left mining base still going strong, and Stork's not going to know about this, but just because you've got a 3rd base up doesn't guarantee you a win. It just gives you the economy you need to play with more units. And right now for Polt, he certainly needs more units to play with. The army supplies look matched at the moment, guys, but don't think for a second that's the case. Again, with Colossus that are going to have extended thermal lance, or do have extended thermal lance rather, it's going to be so hard to really find a good engagement path. We've seen pretty good force fields come out of Stork so far. We've got Guardian Shields always as an option, and now there's Archons in the mix. Polt, oh, I don't think he's got Ghost Academy yet. No, he's just getting more production up right now. Ooh, he's got no EMPs for this. He's going to go for the triple drop. He's going to go for the quadruple drop. Is he going to try and base trade this out? Oh, you know what? This might work. If he goes for the base trade, he can hold on home for a little bit, but he's got that whole extra base going for him. He can float some of his production away if he gets a little bit scared, but holding it home prior to this will not be easy. But this is a very offensive move that he has to make, because I think he knows that if he plays defensive for the rest of the game, he's down and out. But Polt, oh no, don't let go, not now! Not now, Polt! Okay, a bit of lag there. We'll call that North America BattleNet problems, but that unfortunately, this is so stupid. This is lagging, and this is actually screwing Polt over a little bit, because during that lag pause, Stork could see full well on his minimap there were 4 blue blips at his main base. If that had lagged before Polt had been in vision of that Stargate, I guarantee you Stork would not have gone home immediately. But he was ready to deal with this. That was the worst possible time to lag for Polt. He's going to get that base, though. He gets the Nexus Snipe. He's got a lot of probes going down with this, too. And even picking off some of the Stalkers. This opens up the left side of the map where he pulls the Marines. He brings the Marauders. There might not be medevacs with this, but this Vikings is not the Colossus. Actually, this really sucks losing the medevacs like that, but he's still got 2 standing. Colossus are getting absolutely volleyed upon for the perfect positioning, and because enough of the Stalkers went down, they can't focus fire these down too quickly, but they fly over top of Archons, which is never something you want to do. Even though they don't do bonus damage versus mechanical, they still hit pretty hard with that splash. Can this last Colossus go down? Can Polt take it? He snipes off this base too. By the way, I'm sorry I didn't even catch that. I was focusing on the Vikings. Polt takes down 2 Nexus at the same time. This is his MO. This is what we know Polt for. He's the base sniper when it comes to TVP. And right now, this forces Stork to attack. Now, Polt's set up to actually come in from behind on multiple angles. He's got a defense on the front lines. And again, let's not forget about this base here in the top left.
Mineral field depleted.
Pardon me. All intents and purposes, guys, I think Polt's got a good engagement potential. He loses the Watchtower, so he doesn't know what's going on. But there's no Colossus with this. There's a hell of a lot of Zealots. And I think, I don't know, he's going to actually go offensive with one of these. So he can attack from one angle here on the left. He can attack from his main base where he's got all the defenses. But unfortunately for him, Polt's going to go for the last remaining Nexus. This, screw you, Stork. I'm down 2. I need to even this up. We're going to game 5, buddy. Takes out the Colossus, or sorry, the Colossus, the Stalkers that are remaining here, and just sims up his way to the top of the ramp. What is he going to focus down here? But a couple of the pylons perhaps try and cut out production. Either way, he's brought the army of Stork back home, and there's not enough Stalkers here. You can pick up with the medevacs. Yeah, he only loses like 1 Marine in this. Now moving through the left side of the map again, rushing to find the Nexus that has not been placed down by Stork. Stork is still stuck on 1 base mining at the natural. And Polt has just got control of this game. He's taking the wheel on merry-go-round. We got a Ghost Academy on the way. We got a Ghost Academy on the way, guys. We're going to finally see some EMPs get mixed in here. Not only do the Ghosts deal bonus damage versus Zealots, again, that EMP is going to strip the shields off of these units so quickly. Be it the Archons, be it the Zealots. Alright, well, he gets caught up here a little bit unprepared, I think. I don't know what he was doing there. He's got to be careful about retreating up to this top, though, because this might send the units to go check on it. For Stork as well, you got to consider at this point, the reason he wasn't rushing out those Nexus to replace them was he's got to think like, okay, my opponent's still also stuck on 2 bases. He hasn't taken a third anywhere, because I've seen both of them, but he doesn't know about the top left. This ninja base from Polt is really pulling its weight this game. This Widowmine's going to get a pretty nice shot off. Ooh, takes out 2 units right away. It strips the shields from some others, but still a couple more Widowmines standing. Where is Polt's army, though? He's gone for another Doom drop. Looking to go for a continued base trade, but there's Stalkers here waiting for him this time. He's going to lose one of the medevacs right away. Almost loses 2 of the medevacs right away. And this unloaded drop is going to be kind of a lackluster attack. Now on the defense back at home, he drives off the Zealots. The Archons aren't going to cut it. And quite frankly, with his stim forces, he can give chase. Now, Polt, he just lost a lot. 2 Vikings actually could land over here and start sniping off probes. I don't think he's realized he's stuck on the Vikings, though. But regardless, even though losing those medevacs, I mean, that was the perfect hold from Stark. He picked those off before they could unload many units. Lose 2 medevacs, full dead, not a problem. Even so, 112 army supply versus 73. Polt is looking to be in a pretty good spot in this game as he comes up on 3-3 to finally match his opponent. Keep in mind, guys, for all of these engagements for the last 10 minutes of the game, ever since 2-2, Polt has been behind in upgrades. But for the first time here in about, well, 10 in-game seconds, so he's fighting a little too early. He'll have the upgrade, I guess not advantage, but evening out edge? However you want to say that. Ghost throws out a couple of EMPs, 4 goes down, but this Bioforce now too strong with 3-3, pushes through Stork's remaining forces, a couple of Archons in retreat, but that's gonna be it. Stork doesn't have the money, he doesn't have the economy, we don't see any Colossus coming out, we certainly don't see Storm, so these Templar cannot do anything other than become Archons. This is looking like Polt is absolutely going to take us to Game 5, guys. At this point, it's going to take a combination lag out slash big DC slash huge throw to actually lose this game. But Stork is fighting it really well. He's got a very small guerrilla force of units, but he's still making the best of it. And it's not looking too bad, not at all. But these Zealots pushing forward. It's the last stand of Stork, guys. GG.